Good afternoon. My name is Amy Fisher, and we are here with Cannabis Infused Radio. Today I have with me Mr. Danny Corrales from the band Autopsy, and we also have my friend Rufasa from the Ganjaneer Growing Program. Welcome, guys.
How you doing?
Thank you. It's great to be
Good
here.
to be here.
Great. So, why don't we start with you guys saying who you are?
Okay, I'm Rasufa. I'm from Northern California. I'm a home grower. I'm growing indoor and outdoor using organics and synthetics and outdoor regenerative gardening techniques and all kinds of things. Plenty to talk about. I could go on for days, but
Well, you
we'll
will
get
be.
into it eventually.
Hello, I'm Danny Corrales. I'm in a death metal band. I'm basically here to observe, learn, and throw in a smart ass comment here and there.
I know you got a lot of those over the years. Danny and I have been friends probably about 6 years, 6 or 7 years now. So we've gotten to smoke a lot together, hang out together, do a few shows together, and we're going to spend a great deal of time with you guys talking about cannabis and what it can do for you, how it makes you feel, what you like about it, what you don't like about it. We're going to take you on some strain reviews. We're going to take you to shows. We're going to just take you out and we're going to have a great time together showing you guys the intricate world of the cannabis industry. I like to say community better because I still feel we are a community of great farmers and great people wanting to come together to help patients.
Absolutely. I mean, I do tons of stuff where I'm creating products at home in the kitchen just to help other people. So I'm just learning most of these products like salves and tinctures and things that I can make with cannabis and stuff. And so I don't really charge anybody for it. I'm like,
Awesome.
hey, try this out.
Yeah.
Or somebody's like, oh, could I get some of that? I suffer from this. And so for a while, I've been kind of just doing freebies across the board, and I'm getting great response.
That's terrific.
Yeah, like I dude, what really pushed me into it, hard on like being generous and giving a lot of stuff away. Is the first guy I did was having seizures for years. Right, he couldn't do anything. He was at home all the time. I gave him some of my CBD tincture, and he calls me. He's like, dude, I went surfing today, man. He's like, you changed my life, bro. And so now he's growing some of my the cross that I made with a CBD or THC plant. And
Dude, that's incredible that you're
Yeah.
like changing people's lives
Oh my
and stuff like
God.
that.
Uh,
What kind of headwind do you run into nowadays? Is there any kind of law enforcement problems anymore?
there
I
is,
know
if
there's
I wanted to try and do that, like sell that in a dispensary or something, but
yeah.
on the me doing it in my kitchen and handing it to you,
Patient to patient is fine for California.
yeah,
Okay.
right.
So if a patient makes something, we are allowed to give it to other patients.
Because I think the average person like me just assumes that since the laws have changed and there's, you know, dispensaries now, that everything's okay now, that there's no uphill
No,
battles, that
there's
everybody's
so
like,
many uphill battles we have not won
Mhm.
yet with the cannabis plant, especially being able to use it in hospitals. I, a few years ago, in fact, was threatened with elder abuse for giving my aunt RSO. And they threatened my housing. They threatened to throw me in jail, and they had a guard, policeman, literal policeman, San Jose policeman at her bedside for 24 hours a day for almost 2 weeks to make sure I did not dose her again. And she was getting better. She was talking to us. She was using the parallel bars,
so
walking.
she was confident
She
enough
was
to say that
confident
she
that she
wanted to
wanted
continue
it.
the
She
treatment.
wanted to continue that treatment, but because she was in Kaiser and state hospitals that get government funding, they're not allowed to have cannabis in their hospital knowingly. So when they do know about it, they can prosecute you and throw you in jail. So
So
now I'm really happy that we have a lot of hospices that are indulging our patients in not reporting it to government and allowing it to be used in the end of life to allow people to be comfortable.
what can like someone that's just on the outskirts because it just sounds really logical that, this shouldn't be a problem anymore. What can someone do to,
Well,
just bringing attention to them? Because most people probably aren't even aware.
that's one thing that we have to do is bring more attention to what compassion means in the community, and not just in cannabis, but in all areas of homelessness. And, just
Legislature is
just going to have to change.
Yeah.
We have to get the federal government to reschedule it. And until we do that, we are in a circle.
Yeah.
Sounds like to me we need more people interested to
Yes.
make more of a motion in the laws. I mean, it's
We-
probably not one of the front burner.
Well, because everybody thinks that because it's legalized, we're okay. That
Yeah.
is so not the case.
Okay.
There is so much work that needs to be done, and how we can use those tax dollars that they're taking from you at the dispensary to put into other programs that actually help our communities. That money that's made in that community needs to stay in that community. And we need to be able to grow our programs with compassion to give to the people who cannot afford it, so that they're not out on the corner buying drugs illegally.
So then what,
Possibly bad drugs.
Yeah.
Unclean cannabis.
Unclean cannabis
You know.
is a very, very big problem. I know a couple years ago at the underground sessions, which I will admit that I do go to on occasion because I can't afford to go into a dispensary. So I have to go buy my medicine there. I don't know if that medicine is tested, whether that medicine has mold, whether it was grown with chemicals or not. And with people with breathing problems, that's a very, very big problem. I had respiratory failure, so I only smoke the best in cannabis now. I have to know where it came from, who grew it, know that it's clean, and that it's not going to harm me, because cannabis helps you. Every person in the world is born with an endocannabinoid system. And if you do not feed your endocannabinoid system, you are giving yourself a vitamin deficiency.
And actually, we should be thinking of it as any other agricultural product that you put into your body.
Yes.
Correct?
Well,
Or even
now-
they're
now
even
you're-
more highly scrutinized.
Now you're getting into a money situation, though, right? So
Well, I'm not
somebody's
trying
gonna
to say regulated by government, but what I'm saying is it should be held to a standard.
Well, it is
Correct.
held to
So
a certain
what's gonna
standard
come
right
from
now.
that is the law steps in and says, you're not up to that standard. Here, we're going to show you how to do that. And we're going to make that money. It's kind of what's happening with cannabis in California right now.
Right. Yeah. So the wrong people are making the standards.
Yes.
It should be us. It should be
Well, we
and
need
pun
more-
intended, a grassroots.
We need
Yes.
more people to sign the bills that we try to put into place to fix the laws that are not working for us.
Yeah.
Right.
And there are people like Ellen Kopp, who is a part of this radio show also. She works with the group Normal that's been around since the 70s. She is a great asset to this show and what information she's going to be bringing. In fact, I have a clip from her for us to include in the next episode here. And she's talking about all of the new laws that are coming up and things that we need to be supportive of if we really want to change what's going on in our cannabis industry.
Right. But so yeah, we have to start from that foundation though, right? Because
Yes, we need old school activism back is what we need.
But going back to what you were saying is, yeah, we have to be concerned about what we're putting into our bodies.
Yes.
For sure.
If it
do.
doesn't matter if it's romaine lettuce or your
Yeah.
finest sativa.
Yes.
I have to tell you,
Yeah.
it's why I started gardening in this last year. I learned some regenerative techniques from some great cannabis growers up in Humboldt County. I went up there and they taught me and they let me camp out and they fed me and showed me some techniques, and I've been implementing them, and everything in my yard is created in my yard, and everything I feed them is created from my yard.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of your videos where you do a lot of the homemade teas and the feeding nutrients and things like that are out of compost and things like that.
Yeah.
It's not so much chemical based.
Well, I try to focus mostly on Jadon, which is free. Basically, you can grow for free. That's the whole premise behind it. you don't have to spend money to use these techniques. And if you save your seeds from last year's crop, then you don't even have to buy seeds.
Yes.
You can just be self-sufficient. I hope no one in the government is listening to that because they hate that. You know, they don't want us to grow our own food or
Self-sustain.
cannabis.
Oh no, and then we wouldn't be able to reach out for that handout.
Oh,
Right?
absolutely. Because if I gave you a tomato out of my yard, you'd be like, "Oh, why do I eat that
Why do I-
white fruit from Peru that's been sprayed with a ripening agent?"
Right,
You
and
know?
big old purple sticker is
Yeah.
because U.S.
Yeah.
done someone.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those out there. I know. I don't like buying the fruit at the store. It's just not that good. Banana doesn't taste like a banana anymore, honestly,
Well,
unless you go to the
fortunately,
organic.
You live where you can get great fruit.
Yeah, no, I do. I live out in the country a little bit where we do have lots of good fruit stands, so I have access to all that good stuff. But yeah, but no, like I said, getting back to cannabis, though, we need only the best growing techniques, the fastest, and the most economical. So what you're going to be bringing to the show is going to be great for everybody because it's things that they have at their home most likely already that they can use to garden with.
And I'll tell you what, a lot of the farmers I know in the Emerald Triangle are already going for this. I mean, they're pioneering this kind of movement, this regenerative technique, the keeping the land intact, allowing the microbes to remain where they are and proliferate, and creating a soil food network. You know, so that we don't do this old agricultural design where we disc the land up, kill all the microbiology, and then we
Kind of the same concept of growing grapes year after year in the same spot and getting them better and better instead of having them get worse because you're adding chemicals to it.
And they do have to use some chemicals.
Oh, I know they have to
grapes,
use some
but you're
chemicals
right,
and
the
stuff, but
microbes
I
are
know a lot
allowed
of
to-
I know a lot of good farmers though up in Anderson Valley that, you know, they're so lucky that their soil is so rich that they don't have to add anything to their plants really. They just plant them in the ground and they're ready to go.
That's what we call terroir.
Okay.
So one of the things they're trying to do up in the Emerald Triangle, Humboldt, and Mendocino and Trinity County is develop something that's called an appellation of origin, which is
I heard about that. Yeah.
It's going to allow these farms to do something to prevent them from being destroyed. Like as like maybe a good example would be Champagne in France. True Champagne only comes from Champagne. That is the region. That's why it's called Champagne, because it comes from Champagne. Honestly, there are multiple terroirs over every county up there. You know, you can go from one end of Humboldt to the next, and you can grow the same cannabis across each farm, and they're all going to be a little bit different.
Yes,
because
they are.
one of them's between two rivers. One of them's where there was a bunch of rocks came off the mountain, and are there in the soil, and there's different minerals, or you know.
Oh, you mean if you're a fine connoisseur of cannabis, I'm gonna be able to smoke this joint with you after the show and go, wait, this was from the North Slope. It was mid-October and it was a dewy Sunday.
Right? If you're amazing, yeah, you'd be able to. You'd be able to.
Wait. Is there mushrooms grown in the area?
Right. So it's, as you can see, it's kind of a thin thread, right?
Right.
But they're trying to hold on to it because obviously the industry's really pushing out the farmers.
Yeah, no,
The small farmers, right?
all
And
the
like you said,
small craft farmers are having such a horrible time right now.
Yeah.
Trying to play the game with corporate. All of these new people who came in who hadn't, all they had was money, no
Yeah.
experience, and they come in and they take over our community and turn it into an industry that we don't want it to be an industry. We want our community back.
and not to coin a phrase, go ahead and coin it. But you don't want the Emerald Triangle to become the Bermuda Triangle.
No, and it pretty much already has.
It has. So
It has.
there's not that many legal.
You mean the
licenses.
farmers go in and they don't come out?
Oh, some do, yeah.
So
You heard
it's
of Murder
changed.
Mountain.
Yeah. Okay. So
Sorry,
that
we're getting
area,
a little over dramatic.
we are.
The story-
We are.
the stories in
Those
this
are the
podcast.
old days
Look,
before
let's be realistic.
legalization.
Let's be realistic.
Those were the days before legalization.
That's a certain area, and there are those folks out there.
Yeah.
You just don't fuck around with those folks.
No, you
There
stay out
are
of their
tons
area.
of great people
So
in
many.
that same community. I believe it's Cobolo, right?
Yeah.
So I know wonderful people from
I
Cobolo,
do
like
too.
Jerry from First Cut Farms. Is one
Oh,
of
I
my
love
favorite
Sherry.
people
Oh,
in the industry.
Marty. Oh,
And Marty, yeah,
Marty.
you
Oh
know,
my God, I love
two
Marty.
two of my favorite guys.
Oh
So,
yeah, I found a jar of his weed in my freezer this morning.
Oh, lucky you.
Oh damn!
Lucky
I
you.
forgot I got it when we were at the Perone house
Yeah.
a couple months,
And these are
several
guys-
months ago. I forgot I had it in there, but I found it this morning, Jerry.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of those guys up there are using, good soil to start.
Oh,
Sometimes
yeah.
stuff from Patrick King, one of our people involved in our program.
Yeah, Patrick King is the owner of Soil King and also works with the Ganjanera program and is a wonderful person in our community who I've worked with for, at least 10 years now or more. He's always been helpful. Whenever I do a museum event, if he's able to help me, he helps me with the Emerald Cup. We buy the food for all the seniors and stuff. You've been there for that.
Yeah.
For when we've done our
Yeah.
photo shoot, we get about at least 50 to 75 people every year who come out to be a part of that picture. And it's such a great inspiration for me to know that I can ask somebody to be there at 5 o'clock on a Saturday every year and they come back every year because we have such a community bond together with all of us working towards legalization and being together over the years and the experiences that we've all had and the need to still feel relevant, honestly, for a lot of these people is a true fact. They did their business. They worked towards legalization. Now they're senior citizens with nothing to do but fight towards fixing what people with money came in and bought
And took from them.
and took from
And
them.
these are the people that
Yes.
went to jail. These are the
Yes.
people that got raided, lost all their shit,
Yes.
had to have the community come back and
Rebuild them.
replenish their farms after
Did
they
their
came in.
time in one way, form, or another.
Or all of those.
All the
All
above.
of the above
You
most
know,
of the time. At
I'm
least
sure
having
they've
their
all
things
been
stripped
through
from
it.
them
They've all been
and gone to
probably
court.
jailed. They've
Yes.
all had to deal with their farm being destroyed and calling everybody, hey, you got any babies? I need to start over. And they really helped each other in that way back in the day. They would
Yes,
come
they
together.
did. They
and-
rebuilt after they came in and took over with the helicopters and
Yeah,
did their
and they're
little-
still flying around. So
Oh, yeah,
there's
yeah,
big farms out there. My buddy just got a job on a farm. He got hired as the head grower at a farm in Calaveras County, and I believe their projected canopy this year is 35,000 square feet, and they could go up to 45,000 square feet. So it's a shit ton of plants.
Damn.
I'm going to be documenting some of that for the program
Awesome.
and going up there throughout the year and taking some video. I have some of it already.
Look forward
But they're
to
still
it.
in juvenile form, they're not fully growing up, but we'll be checking that out. If you want to come up with me,
Yeah,
check
no,
it
I'll
out.
come out with you.
You can come check it out.
Yeah, three of us take a day trip.
It's all going to be done. It's all started in Patrick's soil, actually. They had trouble with the. I could let Nate explain most of it. I can let
Oh,
the grower
yeah.
explain most of it. They had-
Soil seed
they,
sativa.
they had some trouble with the compost they had bought and filled their trenches with. For some reason, they dug huge trenches and they filled it with municipal compost, which contains all forms of
Oh,
terrible
geez.
stuff.
Yucky.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, all
you
kinds
know-
of microbes that should not be in your
and
cannabis
just
plants.
poisons and
That's what I'm saying. All
you
the
know.
poisons and microbes and different chemicals that don't need to be in your cannabis
yeah.
plants.
I mean, they're gonna grind up plywood and put it in your municipal compost, and there's also the glues and the paint and all that shit, right? You'll get
it's-
municipal compost and see something blue and be like, "What the hell is this thing?" It's how it is.
Can I ask a couple?
Oh, please
Sure,
jump in
sure.
anytime
No,
you
I'm
want,
just-
Danny.
I'm just listening.
Oh.
You guys are so into weed. I want you to have it, the techniques, the soils in between two rivers. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's
Well,
terrific.
that is the thing that will save them is if they can get that appellation of origin and have to be qualified for an appellation of origin, then they can't fuck with that farm
Well, check it out.
so much.
Let's just get back. So, I myself, who has just been getting stoned fucking since I was a kid in the 70s, who loves weed as much as anyone in the world, I totally appreciate, that you guys are so into it and perfecting it to such a degree prosper, whatever you're doing. But I smoke weed to get fucking stoned,
Right.
and for it to be very pleasant. I love a shower head and a bong to really air. I love all of the best ways of doing
but
it.
Think about it. Did you first start smoking because it was put in front of you, or because you were like anxious and, kind of off?
I probably started smoking in like 75
anxiety?
or 76, and it was my generation of rock and roll
Yeah.
and the
78,
debauchery, sex, drugs, rock and roll. Of course, I'm going to smoke weed and do all those things because that
Everyone
was the time,
And it was
that's-
hanging out with friends and adolescents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's great. And not everyone survived, but a lot of us did and everything. But that's another thing I wanted to bring up too. You guys, because for a minute there, you're talking about how it's a vitamin that's needed almost and
Yeah,
everything.
it's
We are all
endocannabinoid.
cool with people that just don't want to smoke fucking weed.
Yeah, no,
That's
I have
cool.
no
so
problem.
we're not like
No.
pushing. That's cool. I just wanted
No,
to
no,
say
no,
that.
no.
There are other ways for them to
enjoy. Well,
it,
that's-
though, I mean,
That's cool.
They can take vitamins with the hemp oils in
Well,
them.
some
the
people,
cannabis
I mean, are
oils,
quite happy just,
And I own a hemp museum, but I honestly advocate for CBD that has THC in it, because you don't want to take a hemp supplement and it's like taking a Motrin. You need that activation to regenerate cells from the THC with the CBD if you
Yeah.
are honestly sick.
But not every pleasure is for every human being.
Right.
No, and I'm not saying that it is. And I talk to a lot of seniors, and I explained to them, do you remember, because I had a lady even in line at the grocery store behind me when I was trying to explain the endocannabinoid system to the lady in front of me. I said, do you know that up until about the late 1930s, that hemp was an everyday part of your diet, whether you wanted it to be or not? You were being fed those endocannabinoids in the foods that you ate, in the hemp oil that they used, in the hemp flowers that they used, in what the animals ate, because the animals were eating the wild hemp. So you were getting endocannabinoids from your chickens, from your cows, from your lamb, from whatever you were eating,
Now
your milk.
now what's taking its place is plastics in your food.
Yes.
And plastics in your body.
Right.
Yes.
So I
would
rather
much
have
rather have
endocannabinoids in my system than the
Most
Pacific
definitely.
briar patch.
Well, up to a certain point, you were required to actually grow hemp.
Yes, you were.
For
And
the
I have
We're in
government
San,
documents in my museum that show that.
we're in San Francisco. Our local newspaper, the Chronicle, that was owned by the Randolphs or the
Yeah,
Hearst, right?
Hearst family.
The Hearst family was all
Randolph
printed
Hearst
on
family.
hemp.
Yes.
Right on.
So right on,
Right on.
right?
Yeah, but
our,
then
our
they got
founding
into-
father had a hemp farm.
Yes. Okay.
Good.
I have a great bit of history for you there. George Washington grew two types of hemp. One he grew for textiles and papers.
Nice.
They grew a Japanese hemp for the rooting system. For the different nitrates and phosphates that every rooting system has, it would shoot bullets a couple inches further. The nitrates and phosphates they would add to the gunpowder.
Wow.
That's funny. What was the
And
first
then-
one used for?
Okay. For hemp and textiles.
Right. So,
Okay, for paper and for
Clothes.
clothing and
Right.
ropes
So I knew-
and things, okay?
Yeah, I knew he had grown two different types, and I knew that was the first one. I thought the second one was for nighttime.
Well,
I'm
he may have grown that one too, but like I said,
Yeah.
okay, the Battle of Lexington at the Alamo, I'm sure we've all heard of that in our history classes,
Absolutely.
okay?
Well, we did.
Okay,
I
yeah,
don't know
I
if they
did.
teach kids about
Okay,
it
well, yeah,
anymore,
no, maybe not anymore, okay. But during the Battle of Lexington, what they did to save the Alamo was get wet bales of hemp and stack it up, and the bullets would not go through the hemp into the Alamo.
Nice.
So that is how they saved the Alamo, is by wet bales of hemp.
So
Like
when
we
the
use the hay
zombies are
for
coming-
shooting. We use the hay at the shooting range, don't we? With the
Yeah.
little targets on it.
Yeah.
They used to use hemp. Get it wet.
The United States of hemp.
Well, we
Change
really
it.
were. So
Yeah.
as,
We
as
really were.
people left the East Coast and began to settle across the United States, they'd get a tag. And you had to produce, you had to fill
So
out every
many-
ticket, man. And
Yeah,
grow
you had
all
to
this
grow
hemp
so
for the
much
country.
hemp.
And they took it.
This is all cool history, but earlier you guys were talking about how you're trying to keep, the big corporations or something from taking over what the small farmer has started. You guys
Yes.
and you fought the good fight to make it even
We're still fighting
legal.
the good fight, dear.
Yeah. So, but when I was listening to this, it's just total business as usual in America that a big corporation is going to come up and screw over the creators or pay them off or something like this.
They
so,
are.
So,
Yeah,
so it's a
I
big.
mean-
How do you tackle that? I mean,
You just keep standing up and talking.
Well, that
Because
only gets you
it's
so
almost like
far. So
insurmountable.
I feel so. I am part of my purpose in breeding. I've two. One is to find, well, you find some killer tasting shit, but find stuff that is specific in certain
For different ailments.
Yeah, different terpenes and cannabinoids that help certain ailments would be nice. But also, I would like to start a variety of shorter cultivars so that everybody can grow at home in a tent, in a closet, and you can grow weed.
I
just
like that.
This is inside.
Yes.
And this is how we will stop them. And I'm going to try and teach everybody how to fucking grow this inside so you don't have to go to the dispensary and get it from them.
Yeah.
You could do it in your closet. And
We grow some
we can all,
we grow some beautiful
with some good
weed.
fucking weed, yeah? And this stuff has been around, harvested, I don't know, 4 months ago. And it's still good weed.
Yeah,
And it's been sitting out on the counter for an hour. It's still.
yeah.
Um,
No, everything
but
I've always
we
seen
do that,
from you has
if
been
more
beautiful.
of us do that and spend less on their products, they're going to go under. It's already happening to them. They overshot their wads.
Yes, they did.
They
Thank
went
God.
too hard, too fast, too far.
I've had the problem where a lot of brands where I've gone to ask for help with the museum and sponsorship have just literally, just blown me off. And a lot of these people I have networked together over the years. And I'm kind of sad to say, but happy to say that I know that in 10 years, my museum will still be here, but
Right.
I'm not sure about their brand or their company.
Right.
And I'm willing to support them as long as I'm here. So everybody as a community just needs to really start working together and stop worrying about the fucking end game of the almighty dollar.
That's good because my next question was, what are some of your guys' ideas of solutions instead of just it's bad, it's because of this.
Teach
and
everyone to
that.
grow.
Yes.
Make it so they don't have
So
to buy
that's what we're
that shit.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
By making
We're
it
gonna
simple
teach
like
them how
that, I
they
can
medic-
totally
All
wrap
right.
my head
and
around
so
that.
if you
and
have a
that's
backyard,
awesome.
if you have a backyard, you don't
balcony.
want to
No,
do
you
it
have
in
a
your
back
house.
patio you can grow.
Growing
Okay?
on my balcony,
You know?
balcony before. so-
Almost every state has
But-
a plant count, right? And as long as your neighbors
And
don't
this is
see it,
just, we should do this with food.
Yes, crosstalk. Sorry.
sorry.
No, it's okay. I just want to make sure, even though I want to make sure everybody else can hear you, I'm also the facilitator. My name is Paul Brown. Hi, Paul. I'm a facilitator. It's been a week since my last facilitation.
Thank you, Paul.
So, no, we just want to make sure we hear everybody because everybody's got really good points. I'm listening to it, but I feel like I'm watching Wimbledon.
Okay.
So all I was trying to say is, so
Go for it.
there is an indoor way to grow, but it requires a lot of equipment. Right?
Yeah.
If you want to really grow something like this, it's going to require environmental controls. And that's money. But if you have space outside and you can implement some of the Jadam techniques I'm going to teach you, you're never going to have to fucking buy weed again.
And this
Or
could
paper.
actually be an educational series that you put on a platform that people subscribe to.
Right.
Along with my OnlyFans, you'll see that along the bottom of the crawl, folks. But no, I mean, literally, you can volumize this and literally make it available to who you want it to be available to. And I would think everybody, right?
Right.
Well, yes. He already does that on his Instagram page. We just look forward to incrementing longer times of his videos.
You're
Yeah.
so brilliant by doing that. What is your Instagram, by the way?
My Instagram?
Yeah, Rusa.
Underscore Rasufa. Underscore RASUFA. Rasufa.
Rasufa.
And mine is Amy Fisher 420. So sorry, guys.
And then Danny, what's yours? We're on a
Hey, if you're into extreme sonic fucking atrocities, you can check Autopsy Official on Facebook.
There you go. Right on. So back to our regularly scheduled program.
All right, Danny, what other questions you got for us? Because we want to know
I'm
what
not-
you have. No,
I'm putting
we-
you in the hot seat here.
Yeah, it's really great because
I mean, these are
No,
just questions. I
we
think,
we want to answer any concerns that you have and what you might want to
like
know.
I
or
said,
what-
I'm
what do you
here
wanna
to
learn?
discover, observe, learn, and hopefully, I think there's a lot of people like me that don't fully understand the full picture, but really enjoy getting high and smoking weed, right?
Yes.
So it seems like we need to kind of bridge a little
We
information.
do. We
So
really
I'm
do.
asking,
Sorry.
I want to, just kind of find out what the problems are, and then have you guys tell me what you think some of the solutions are. So hopefully, I just want to help.
Yeah,
So
no,
maybe
and-
help.
We're
Have
looking forward
ideas
to
to put
we're
them in
looking forward to
place.
having you out there and talking to people and asking them questions and seeing how they feel about cannabis and just being around you guys. And I'll come out and see the band when you guys play around here again. But like I said, just have a good time with what you're going to be doing on
I
your
will,
segment,
yeah.
asking people questions, and that's what this is about. Is about
Yeah.
learning, even if it's talking to somebody new. You learn something new that day, at least from that person.
I mean, I know weed isn't and shouldn't be for everyone, but
No,
I
it
loved it,
isn't.
and I've loved it
It is.
my whole bloody life, from
Yeah.
the contraptions we smoked it through, to all the crazy things that, and just the.
Making gravity bombs
So it
along the
is-
way.
Because back in the day, it was mostly a young person's drug.
Yes,
if you
it
were
was.
old enough, this was all like a generational thing that kind of grew with time. Now
Yes.
everybody's involved because cool people are old now, so you got to deal with this.
Well, because the stigma is being removed. And there's
Yeah,
money
With the
involved.
legalization, it's
And
being
that's-
removed and
that's
being
another thing,
portrayed
because I don't
more
think a
in
lot of people,
media.
not the crosstalk, but I
Sorry.
don't think a lot of people are really aware of much of a problem. Like when you talked about, musicians for medical marijuana. I thought these battles had been beaten and taken care of back in
No,
the 90s or
like
something.
I said, Musicians for Medical Marijuana came out of my son and my husband were both musicians who passed away, and I wanted to represent them and what they were doing in their lifetime. My husband was a professional musician who played with Marty Friedman from Megadeth when they were in high school in a band
Fabulous,
called
yeah.
Hawaii. And then he joined the military and ended up in the Bay Area, and that's how I met him in Alameda. And he was a part of the Bay Area music scene, and I've been a part of the scene now for 30 years. So I've enjoyed getting to know everybody. I've noticed a shift where a lot of musicians now won't smoke where they used to be. I know I got them high in the day.
Yeah.
And a lot of it has to do with some of the stigma from work. They'll lose their jobs, some of them, because they work at refineries or, something automotive or driving and that sort of thing.
It's not just weed, like music. They won't listen to.
Yeah, but I
Anything
mean,
new,
it's
they're
just
stuck
it's
in that.
just weird how the judgment changed, though. How they used to be into it, but now they judge you for still smoking it too. There's a lot of that going on,
There is.
honestly.
Just like tobacco.
It's
I'm
annoying.
sorry, it really is annoying to me
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm the person who likes to get everybody happy, and it's like I'm always
People
the
change.
person.
Like not everyone sticks to their guns.
Yeah,
People,
yeah.
you know,
But
It's okay.
I
It's
wish
okay
I
to
wish they
evolve.
would still be
Yeah.
supportive, though. I believe in AA, okay? And a lot of these people are going through AA, so that's what I'm talking about. They don't smoke, don't drink, don't do anything anymore, but are now really judgmental about us.
Mhm.
I would rather smoke a joint than take a pain pill. I'm
Oh, yes.
sorry. I do not like pharmaceuticals. That's what we have edibles for. That's what we have cannabis capsules for, and that's what we have smoking for. For people who just don't want to do those opiates. You can still have a clean life and smoke marijuana, and marijuana is a natural born plant. It is not something that is produced.
And you don't even have to smoke it. There's
No, you
there's
can eat
several
it.
ways.
You can pain. Oh my God,
do a
I use
sublingual,
pain bombs
yeah.
almost every day
Yeah.
I
for
believe
pain.
you can live a clean life and do any
Yeah.
fucking drug you want. Just if you can hang and not get strung out, which is, I'm talking about a very rare breed, maybe
Yeah.
Keith Richards or something.
Surprising
But yeah, but
he's still with us. Yeah, no,
there's no, absolute rule
I think
when it comes to human.
I think everybody should be using
Pleasure.
CBD though.
yeah, everybody
think-
should be using CBD to feed their endocannabinoid system. CBD does not get you high.
Well, that's why we're here. You need to explain why. Because I don't.
So CBD is not really a cannabinoid. Cannabinoids are agonists that bond to the CB receptors, which they're finding out are a lot of receptors. It's not just the CB1 and CB2 anymore. And it's not just 5 terpenes and 10 cannabinoids. It's thousands they're finding, so it keeps changing. But CBD is not a psychoactive cannabinoid, like I said, like THC would be, or CBG would be, or CBN. Those are cannabinoids that are in an acidic form while they're in the plant. Once we decarboxylate them, which is heat them up, that happens when we burn a bowl, right? We could eat that flower and not get high like we do when we smoke it, because we change the chemical molecular makeup of that resin that's in there. We change it from acidic form to the THC that we love.
Yep.
Now, CBD does not bind to those receptors like these cannabinoids do. It is an antagonist. And what it does is it regulates your endocannabinoid system. And it keeps all of those other cannabinoids in check, right? It makes them flow through that system. It gives you a balance through your endocannabinoid system. So, like, you've heard people say, man, I smoked that and I was just too fucking high. Or I was too racy. I got too spazzed out, man. It gave me anxiety. You don't have any CBD in your system, right? Like, I'll smoke any kind of weed any time of day. I'm an old school puff daddy, you know, but I mean, I don't care what it is, you know. It could be body relaxed, high, mentally stimulating. It doesn't matter. The CBD keeps me on a level playing field all the time. I take it every day. I make it in my kitchen. So, I mean, I don't grow the CBD flower because that takes a footprint in my grow space. I source it from other people that grow CBD flower, and then I make my products in my kitchen.
But what you're doing is you're messing with the pharmaceutical industry.
I am 100%.
Oh,
And
we
and
are.
if you spread that message and everyone is able to easily start producing,
I'm going to teach you guys all this stuff.
see,
All
yeah,
of it.
yeah.
I'm going to teach you how
That's
to make
wonderful.
salves and lotions to
Hell,
ease your
even just
aches,
suppositories.
you know?
Well, even just to
I'm here
back
for
up,
most of it.
well, even just to back, even just to back up a minute or two, right, guys? You were talking about that everybody needs this in their system,
Yes.
and it's mostly for things like anti-inflammatories and
Mhm.
stuff. If our government hadn't been spoon feeding us, literally sugar, what else? High fructose corn syrup.
Yeah.
For the last
Sugar,
80
yeah.
years, maybe we wouldn't be a country
And
of
all the carbs.
obesity.
Right.
And the
That
carbs,
we
yeah.
wouldn't need to take these, but they would still be probably in our regimen anyway. 'Cause
You know
I think
what's
the
more-
most healthy of us.
Is we look back fondly at those cereals we ate as kids.
Oh, yeah.
So these are fond memories for us being poisoned. It's like we look back fondly, like, oh, that wasn't it great? It was so delicious.
Oh, the marshmallows!
You know?
I remember my mom taking the broom and hitting me off the ceiling after a good thing of Fruit Loops. So, yeah, no, I get it. So,
For sure.
that's right. This segment of Cannabis Infused Radio brought to you by Fruit Loops.
Don't eat the red ones.
Yeah, right.
The red ones make you go blind.
Yeah, the red dye number 4.
Yeah, red dye. Yeah.
Yeah, let's have a moment from everybody else that has had red dye number 40 and below because they're not with us any longer. Let's do that for them. All right, cool. Is that long enough? All right. We're back.
Yeah.
So, you know, hopefully this program's really a great idea. Hopefully, and it's great that you're here asking questions. It feels like you're almost an advocate for the people that want to know the answers to these questions.
He does. He likes to learn.
Yeah,
He
you know,
loves to
it's
learn.
really
That's the one thing
excellent.
I've learned about him over the years. is
if I
he-
see something I don't understand, and
Gotta
especially
ask
when someone
questions and-
I love is behind it,
yeah.
I'm interested.
I
I want to see
definitely
what's going
am.
on here.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully, I can answer a bunch of questions.
Yeah, because I need to know why. You know, it's like I
Why
said.
am I doing this?
No, it's not so much that, but I think people think that the weed thing's we've dealt with it. It's legal. You can go buy it 25
But we
places in your
haven't.
hometown.
We haven't.
We have
So what's
come nowhere
happened?
Yes,
close to
So a couple
fixing
things
things.
happened with legalization. It's been really good and really bad. When it first started, it was really bad. It put all
Really bad.
all the outdoor growers out of business.
Small time dealers.
Because it was the first law that everybody ran to vote for. I voted no on 64.
I voted no.
But, you know,
I did.
all my stupid friends that I said vote no voted yes so they could buy weed at a store. But
Yeah.
all my outdoor grower friends were immediately out of business because it
Yeah.
was only indoor weed at first. Then they started greenhousing their stuff or the ways they figured it out or they went out
Yeah.
of business.
Light depth.
Yeah,
all of that,
then they
yeah.
changed it and they let them go ahead and now you can grow outdoor weed and now it's a square footage, now it's acreage, now it's canopy size, now it's blam.
Now,
And
if it's grown on a Tuesday with the moon is full,
exactly, and
Yeah.
every time fee, license, new permit,
didn't-
bam, and these guys are they're.
I know that one thing came up last year that was a racket. It was the Mendocino County and not giving the money they were given to help farmers to the farmers and getting thrown out of the programs, wasn't it?
I'm not sure.
You
Sounds
didn't
like
hear
we
about
need to talk
that.
to Patrick.
Okay, yeah, no, they were stopping a lot of farmers from getting their
Are we talking about
licensing.
cannabis farmers?
Yeah.
I do know that there's a handful of legal operating farmers.
Well, what I'm
in
saying is
Mendocino
that they
now.
got
There
rid
used
of a
to be-
whole bunch of farms last year, literally.
Yes, there are still some
There's still
operating
some
that are
yeah, I know.
within their licenses, but
I
they
have
can't
a few
really.
farmers who still have their licensing in Mendo, but they
Yeah.
had to fucking pay out the ass for
Oh
it.
yes,
I'm
they
sorry.
do. Yeah, and there's very few. Left
Yes,
that are
very
legal.
few, and we need to help them to keep going. I know
So-
two right now that are going under,
One of
and
the
without the
things.
support from the community, we're going to lose all of our small Mendo farmers
Well, one
because
of the
they can't
things they're
keep up
doing-
on the expenses and the trimming. Do you know that you're only getting $600 to $800 a pound, pretty much, for fucking light
If they're
dep?
lucky.
If they're lucky,
Sometimes it's gotta go
and they
to
got to
the
pay
adult.
somebody almost $200, $150, $200 for that pound now just to trim it too.
It got down to $300 for a
Yeah, it
trimmed
did.
pound,
It
and
really
then they
did.
had to pay $100 in taxes. So they were getting $200 a trimmed pound at one point.
Yeah.
They had to send stuff across the country,
Yeah.
because they could get 900 in New York.
Yep.
For that same $200 pound here.
Oh no,
They're
they
at
can
a
get
pound.
2-3 grand
Yeah.
in New York for
Well, they're
a
starting.
lot of the
they're
indoor.
starting to grow now too. so
Yeah,
things are
no,
changing.
but I still have
Things
I
are changing.
still know things out there. It's
One
up
of
a
the
little bit,
things
but
that,
yeah,
that
it's
is good for them, and I'm a part of a few subscriptions, is some of these local farmers. If you know somebody, you can maybe ask somebody, hey, do you know any farmers? Do they do a subscription? And basically it's I gift them and they gift me. We're not really doing a transaction. I'm part
Yeah.
of the club, and I get something that I know is grown organically in the sun with regenerative techniques. And
It's the
You know.
Cannabis Exchange Program.
yes.
kind of, and there's a lot
Kind
of
of.
farmers that do
Well,
it.
patient to
and
patient.
Yeah.
We're allowed to do person to person.
Right.
pretty much.
Without
B2B.
cash transactions.
I don't want to say too much about it because, just reach out to your friends. If you know anybody that knows any
Don't worry,
farmers,
nobody's listening.
Yeah.
there's ways to reach out and find out.
There's ways to find help if you need the RSO too. There are still compassion programs out there.
Right.
Hell, get in touch with me, Amy Fisher 420. I will steer you in the right direction.
Do you
You
believe
may have
there's
to pay
a
for some of it, but I have a lot of people who do like to help for free because we are still all about the patient
Yeah.
and the
You-
healing.
do you think there are good dispensaries? Like a dispensary?
Yeah, there are several good dispensaries.
'cause
One
I
of the
have a
ones
place
I
like
like
this.
the best is CBCB in Berkeley, because she helps patients by giving them a compassion program where they can come in and get free medicine every month. No, she had eighths down to $4 an eighth when I was there last Saturday.
Yeah,
I got to question something about cheap though.
Yeah, it's all tested.
that
It's
is,
all
yeah.
through the system.
Well, sure, but you can remediate something and get it through.
Yeah,
a test.
I know that, but no, she is part of the Dennis Perone group for
Oh,
Prop
very
215,
nice.
Andre Especial.
Yeah,
So
I'm
no,
a-
she's
I'm a
Cannabis
215
Buyers
guy
Club
myself.
Berkeley. She's Cannabis Buyers Club Berkeley instead of San Francisco. So no, she was in there with everybody during Prop 215 days. Jack Hare, her and I have been working together for a lot of years, and I appreciate her compassion program. I go in every month to get some meds from her.
Excellent. I'll cruise in there with you one day. We'll
Yeah,
check it out.
please. I'll have you come in and meet her. I'm actually supposed to go and do a couple of dispensary tours if you guys want to come in with me to do those. So we'll get it going.
Shout out your favorite dispensary. Real
my
quick.
favorite dispensary is in Oakland. It's a place called Craft Collective, and it's just the quality of the weed is just, it's amazing. And of course, everything, because if I'm going to get something, I'm not looking for a good deal. Don't waste my time. I want the absolute best experience. I'm old, time's running out. I want the best of everything. So, but no, consistently, I love this place, and the concentrates.
Well, that
you
may
got
deliver.
choices, so you're going to pay for the purists and stuff like that. And it's delivery only. You don't get to
Yeah.
go there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But that's where I've been because when you find a place you like with product that you like, and you get, and you know that it's pure, and
Oh, yeah.
it's all good. Then you're
As
gonna
long as you
kinda-
can verify that.
Yeah.
purity.
Yeah.
The thing is,
Delivery sometimes
it's not all. It's not cheap, and you know what really kills you is the taxes. You know,
Yeah,
it's
well,
almost a
that's
third
why you
of
need the
price
medical
of-
card so you don't have to pay the taxes.
No, this is why we need to teach people how to
To
grow
their
their
own,
weed.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to teach you how to make salves, lotion,
Yep.
oils, tinctures. I'm going to teach you how to press dabs out of your flower. Make it.
This is all wonderful.
Make it. Make it
Oh,
all.
Danny's a chef. Maybe you guys could get together one day and have some fun in the kitchen together.
Yeah,
You
man.
can
I'll
show
make
them
you
a
up
few
some.
things.
I'll just make you up some oil or some butter, and you can do what you want with it.
Yeah, that's cool. But you know, I'm not. Food is food, and getting stoned is getting stoned. So if it's just the purpose of getting
No, I'm
fucking
talking
baked,
about the hand.
I can
the
make
hand
little
solved
fucking pot
and-
brownies.
No,
but for
yeah.
flavor, I'm not necessarily going to put weed and stuff.
No,
in
I'm
it.
talking about going over and having him teach you how to make the pain creams and stuff for your hands for playing and stuff like that in your
Dude,
back.
I
and
put extra sponges in my brain.
Yeah.
What's going on here? Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. Giving you some stuff that's actually going to help you.
Recipe.
Yeah.
So.
I like
Sure
the
we'll have
butter
a good
for
time.
Oh yeah,
The butter for the Rice Krispies is good.
yeah, yeah.
Butter on your popcorn while you're watching the movie.
Oh.
Yeah, butter on your popcorn.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have this
pretty
one
fucking
video
great,
I
man.
took in Las Vegas from a veteran with PTSD that I gave my fudge to. I'm going to have to send you. It is. We're going to
What,
put it
no
on the
fudge
show.
today? You didn't bring
No,
fudge?
and I will bring you some shortly.
Oh,
I
okay.
haven't. I didn't make any lately. Cultural warfare ended up with the last week. Paul wasn't happy either. He's like,
Yeah,
"You're
'cause
taking my
I-
fudge."
I've been hiding that.
I like fudge.
I
Your
know.
fudge is great.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we've lost ourselves the last 10 minutes of the show here on that fudge. I've learned not to feed it to them till after. Really, honestly. We
It's
don't
kind
eat
of-
it at the beginning anymore. Maybe middle to the end, but not before that.
It's kind of the carrot on the end of the stick routine. Like, come on, here's the end of the podcast. Let's go through it. Come on, Polly. It's like you hear it clopping around the studio.
This is my carrot. And
Yeah,
then followed
yeah.
up by a second carrot.
Oh, I'm looking
gonna
forward to
fireball
trying
these up.
some of that you grew. What is that, by
This
the way?
is
Color?
Cherry Paloma. This is from Raw Genetics. Made this cross, and this particular cut was given to me by J.R. Token from the DGC, and he hunted it out, and it's won a few second places and third places. That sample's a few months old, you know, but
It's still pretty.
it's a 10 weeker. It changes, you know, it's gassy in week 8, berries in week 9, and then kind of melony at the end. And
I'm looking forward
it's
to
a fruity
trying
one.
it.
It's not a super heavy hitter. It's good for all day. It doesn't kick your ass too hard. Checks a lot of boxes, but I would like it if it was a little more potent. But it's a beauty. It's a beauty.
Yeah, no, it looks pretty. I can't wait
really
to try it.
is.
It's got a nice purple to it.
It's very purple when it's growing.
Very pretty
Yeah.
purple to it.
And if you can give it a little cold, which we'll talk about,
Yeah.
that you can increase the amount of
Color.
anthocyanin expression. That's anthocyanin in the flower that's making it purple or red or pink or whatever. And if you push that towards cold in the dark period, you can bring those colors out.
Just to juxtapose your comments just now, back in the day, killer green bud, we would call it KGB.
Yep.
And it was either KGB or not.
Right.
Or some other kind of killer tie or something like that.
Right.
But
Well-
now you got down, you're all
Well, right before that, do you
picking it
remember-
apart.
Do you remember skunk number 1 before
Yeah.
KGB?
Oh,
came
yeah.
out? So that was first, and that was just like
I brought some
I
of
was
that.
there the whole time.
I brought some of that back
So
from
KGB
Sensi
came
Seeds.
a little bit after that.
Yeah,
There was-
yeah.
you know, there was a bunch of stuff that came right then that was all very skunky.
Yeah, but it
and
was,
gassy.
yeah.
Yeah, skunk.
Or-
That was the one that we would get on. My friend would take from his dad's plants before we went to school. It was like freshman, sophomore year in high school.
Yeah.
That'll place me. And, and he would get on the Samtrans bus, and everybody would smell it.
Yeah.
And how did he get busted? He had triple bagged it, quadruple bagged it, whatever he did, and he put it in his locker.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody just walked by his locker and goes, "It's that one right there."
Yeah, you couldn't even go out to your car and smoke it at lunch and then go to class because you'd
No.
get busted just for having the
Smell it.
smoke smell.
No,
on
it was
you, man.
a beautiful. It's so strange that we've conditions ourselves to enjoy the smell of dead skunk on the side of the
Well,
road.
so what, you know why that all
That smells kind
I can believe that I
Our children that don't smoke it go, oh, that smells good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it made it to all the way to
Yeah.
your DNA.
That was the real skunk. That was the stuff that you could smell from a block away.
Yeah,
Somebody was growing it, and that's why it went away, because the man just could bust everybody. We weren't using, not everybody was using filters back then. Now we're very, I'm going to show you how to keep the smell down.
It
how
couldn't
to
be any
just-
more obvious if it grew like what is it? Well, the lights that go up in the sky. What is
Yeah,
that?
Yeah,
called?
spotlight.
Oh,
yeah.
it's spotlight up in the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know where it's growing.
And they just look at who's
It's like
got-
me
using
cooking
the most
butter at
power.
home. I got the neighborhood kids wandering
I
around.
know.
Going, what's that
So
smell
smelly.
coming from?
If you remember, everything started getting fruity right after.
They
started
walked to
getting
the
very
zombies
angry.
to the door.
I just remember overnight,
Well, no, the-
everything had a Wigan name and 15 names. And then after a while, somebody would bring me, oh, this is something, something number 42. And then a year later, they're going to bring me the same fucking thing, and it's totally different.
Yeah.
So I never
That's
really.
because of the crossbreeding that they're
Yeah,
doing
so the
with
whole
the cannabis.
millions of
And
names
we'll
things have
get
always
into the
kind of been beyond
crossbreeding
my-
of
Well, so
strains and
there's actually a lot of
I mean, I understand sativa and
We're-
indica and all that stuff.
Yeah.
We're probably going to run out of time for me to explain.
And we
we
can
got
go-
9 minutes.
Yeah, there you
We
go.
got
Okay,
9 minutes.
so-
Go for it.
Let's talk about growing from a seed as opposed to growing from a cut. If I grow like this flower right here was grown from a cut, so I know that's going to be just like JR's plant.
Right.
It's going to have the same. If it's going to be close, my environment's a little different than his, but it's going to be that
The same
genetic
phenotype.
phenotype.
Yeah.
Correct. Now, if I give you seeds of something, it's going to probably express differently, and you're going to have to hunt through a ton of them to find the one that's like the one you remember. Right?
Mhm.
So people will make seeds and then they'll send it somewhere, and then that guy thinks he has that, and then he grows it. And then that guy sends it somewhere, and then they cross some seeds, and they change every time. So without it being a cut, you're never going to be guaranteed that same thing unless you move those seeds towards stabilization, which is a whole another
Yeah.
topic
Oh,
to
yeah.
go on about. It's just making it so.
On episode 2.
Well, the difference is most of the seeds now are not
Feminized,
pushed
too.
towards stabilization. They are early F1 and F2 crosses, for lack of a better term. We're actually not making F1 and F2s. We're making polyhybrids upon polyhybrids. But just to know where we are in the breeding thing, we say F1 and we say F2, which means you've crossed it once. And then if you take the babies from that cross, you get an F2, so on and so forth. If you push that to about an F5, you're going to get stabilization. Where if I give you 100 seeds, you're going to have 95 plants that look and smell and taste like the ones that I hunted for and grew towards, right? If
that
I give you
explains-
the F2,
Okay.
which is the most open, so the F1s are going to give you kind of like mamas, daddies, and mixes. The F2 is going to give you mommies, daddies, mixes, grandmas, mixes, blah, blah, blah. Everything's going to come out in that F2. That's where you hunt your unicorn. And that's what everybody loves now. They all love to find their own specific cut.
Yep.
So everybody's not working these seeds very far. They'll cross it once, package it, sell it, and nobody's tested it. Nobody knows if it's going to herm out, if it gets too much food or too much heat or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're all over. And you're
I've
talking about
seen-
feminizing.
Yeah, it's
That's a process.
That's mostly all I found when I went to Barcelona was feminized seeds. I could not find male seeds there, which is what some of the people that I was looking for things back here wanted.
Yeah.
Isn't there
Well, that's their
independent
market.
quality control facilities where you can take your stuff so you know? Because how's a consumer going to know which ones?
Oh,
Yeah.
there's testing
Oh,
facilities.
believe me.
For seeds, you're not going to.
No,
You're
Yeah.
basically going to
No,
have
you
to
can see
get
them.
with your community, talk to your community. Stay away from anything somebody says is a white label company. Get with a good seed bank. A good seed bank
Actually,
that's
no,
gonna
I
have
would
good
like to
breeders.
stand up for Sensi Seeds right now because Sensi Seeds is one of the best seed banks in the world, as you know.
Yeah.
And right now, they have a white label program for American seed companies for them to be able to sell our genetics from the United States in Europe. So
they
they're,
do.
yeah.
Because they're doing the
they're-
Lord's
They
work
do.
like you guys are, right? They're just
But,
trying to get
like
that.
I said,
They're trying to get that.
He's also
stuff.
trying to help our
Yeah,
farmers,
didn't-
though, to
didn't
get their
Phylos
genetics out,
try
though.
that? Was it Phylos? Yeah.
But no, I mean, I love Scentsy. I see
am
them
leery
every
of
year when I
anybody
go to,
that says, "Give me all the genetics."
well, yeah, no, I mean,
Really.
that's,
But they
he's
have
trying
done a
to
lot of
sell
work.
them.
They have done a
Scentsy
lot of
has
work.
done an enormous amount of work over the years in the hash community
And a
and
lot
in
of
the
preservation
feeds
back
and
in the day, and
lots and lots of preservation.
Yeah.
I bought their books when I was there, and I am just amazed at what's in them.
yeah, for
And
sure.
they have a museum that
For sure.
blows mine out of the water.
Yeah,
They really do. They have an amazing museum.
Yeah.
And, and I love these guys, but I like the fact that he is trying to help our farmers here, though.
yeah,
That is what I'm getting at. Everybody may not be the best, but everybody wants to see their stuff sold somewhere else. Doesn't matter where,
yeah.
as long as it's out there and it's being
And
generated.
you could always talk to
We started out. I mean, you had to know somebody or know somebody who knew somebody, and that's the way it was since forever
Yeah.
until all of a sudden it got all legal.
So you can
So
go down
that's-
to the corner store, yeah.
What more community based thing is that when you got to know someone to get it,
Right.
And it survived all this time fine just by via the underground, I guess you'd say.
It still helps to know somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it does.
Sure.
It
But
does.
it's just so it's easier now, you can just look stuff up and stuff. So it's great to see that you guys still have the appreciation because a lot of people don't appreciate it. It's just it
No.
doesn't matter anymore.
We're
Because I'll
just
just
trying to
take this, or they don't look that in depth to stuff. So it's
Well, they're
It's
not
the difference.
looking into their medical health and how it can help them. For one, helps with anxiety, helps with headaches, helps
Yeah.
with stress, helps you sleep. I mean, I would rather smoke a joint than take any pill to do any of those
well,
things.
that's why it's awesome.
Honestly,
There's people like
you
you.
can smoke a joint and be happy. Yeah, I'll probably
And
admit I'm
this
manic
scientist
depressive,
sitting
but
before
I'm a
me
lot
as
happier
well,
when I
you know,
smoke.
it-
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
We
No,
all
it's
have
great.
our
It
bad
makes me-
days.
Yeah.
And we'll get into what different cannabinoids and different
Yeah, and I
terpenes
feel
can
I
give
feel
you.
good about it. I didn't have any idea how much
And we're gonna teach you what to
passion and,
smoke and how to
the
smoke it.
science.
Yeah, I
going
mean,
into
so
it.
there's
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of things that go
Yeah.
into it. Like she was talking about anti-anxiety.
Mhm.
That's why I
There are
started
terpenes
smoking.
that are known for anti-anxiety.
Sure, yeah, okay.
And pain relief or bronchodilators, like a piney. Ever
Yeah.
smoke a piney weed?
Eucalyptus.
Sure.
is,
Piney
you
weed.
know,
Yeah.
If you get a really good
Wow.
piney alpha pinene high weed, that's going to help you clear your lungs. Can act as a bronchodilator. It's also going to help you with short-term memory.
I know variety is the key, because you can't just stick to one weed forever. You get
Yeah.
you need to shake it up here and there.
Are we
Yeah.
wrapping it up, mighty producer?
We have 2
2
minutes to
It's
go
the
here.
2-minute warning. Folks.
Okay,
That's
so
right.
let me announce the rest of the show here because they're not here to be with us today to introduce themselves. So, like I said, we have Patrick King, the Soil King, helping us out on this program. We have Julie Chirero from Skunk Magazine, who's going to be doing commentary on natural and regenerative processes also in the community and the news around the world. We have Ellen Komp coming in from Normal. She's been a Normal advisor and activist for, going on 20, 30 years now, I believe. She's also an author. We have Dr. David Allen coming in and talking with us about cannabis at times. We also have Danny Corrales with us for Musicians for Medical Marijuana. We will also have Pascal from Cultural Warfare, as well as Chief Rocker Busy Bee from the Chicago and New York area back east. So he'll be doing some musical things too with you guys and bringing us some information. But of course, we have me. My name is Amy Fisher. I realized I didn't introduce myself really at the beginning of the show and what I do. I have been an activist since 2008. I've worked with the Jack Herer Initiative and have helped just about every cannabis community activism thing that we have going on in the San Francisco Bay Area over the years. I love helping our patients and working with patients, and there's nothing better than watching people who were ill get better and be happy and go on with their lives. I've lost several family members that I've experienced this with personally. And like I said, we look forward to bringing you guys top of the line cannabis news, events, culture,
The
and
museum.
fun.
Don't forget the museum.
And also, last but not least, I actually own and operate, along with several other activists, a traveling hemp museum that we're hoping to open in San Francisco soon. So as soon as we have information on that, I'll let you guys know. But we have hemp artifacts dating back to the 1700s, and we give great cultural and history lessons. And I look forward to having everybody out and showing them what we've got to do. You guys want to say goodbye?
Just tune in next week to find out the answer to, can fish get stoned?
And Rasufa, give us one more shout out where we can find everything that you're doing, sir.
Well, you could look on my page on IG _ RASUFA, Rasufa. It's got some of my life stuff going on in there, but it also shows, if you dig through, there's pollinating techniques, how to collect pollen, how to breed stuff, how to make butters, and how to wash hash, and there's just all kinds of shit on there.
And my name's Amy Fisher, 420. Please join us again for another session of Cannabis Infused Radio. Thank you, everybody.
Hello, this is Danny Corral.
Sorry. When I